Also, watch this. I'm going to make believe that I don't know that the camera's on me. Okay, so this I'm going to act like I'm surprised that there's a camera. Does that sound good? Hey, how you doing? Duff here. You are in my hobby room right now, and I am in the process of assembling some stands that I sell on my 3D store at eucarmy.com. For a while, I've been wanting to kind of outline the procedure and like what's involved. I've gotten some questions about it from some people for some reason, I don't know. But they were kind of curious of what's involved, how long it takes, how it came to be. So I thought I would talk about those things while I multitask and put some stands together. So I started this, see, the reason I put tape on a lot of these is although the bolts, once they are placed in here and screwed into, they stay stable. If there's not a screw into them, they have a tendency, on some models, they have a tendency to want to slide around. So that's why I put tape on. If you ever buy a stand and you see that there's some tape over where the nuts are, you'll see in the instructions it says to remove it after you attach the screws, and that's the reason that I do that, to keep them from like falling out during shipping. So anyways, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, 3D printing electric unicycle stands. This started last year. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting so old. This started in 2018 actually, and it started after various conversations I had with Matthias, EUC guy. Many of you that, if you know me, you probably know him as well. He was real big into 3D printing, and his interest in 3D printing actually got me involved and interested in 3D printing. I would really attest most of the reason that I got into 3D printing in the first place to Matthias, because he was doing crazy stuff, and I wanted to do some cool stuff too, and he helped me get there. These no-tool stands, usually, even though they don't require tools, they usually require a couple shots on a firm surface to push them down all the way. You know, because you want them to be, as tight as possible. All right, carpet's not the best, but you get the idea. Okay, so anyways, yes, 2018 I got this started. And one of the things I first printed, because I was, I was pretty heavily into EUCs at this time, and I just had them, I believe at the time I saw what someone else did, and they took their shipping foam and they turned it into a stand for their wheels, and that's what I was doing. I found that unfortunately foam didn't make the best stand. It kind of had give over time, and I think I had a couple incidents where it actually just fell out of that contraption that I had. So I was looking for better options, and what I stumbled across was the stand that Matthias has up on Thingiverse, his free version of his stand. This is something he designed a long time ago. His version looks almost exactly like this, except for the crossbar. I just added this crossbar for a little more strength, and it allows me to have a spot to put custom text on there. So this is Matthias's design, and so I started printing some for my wheels, and then I don't really recall what inspired me to do so, but I just decided that I would start printing some and see what the interest was out there. In the span of probably 48 hours, this went from an idea to a real thing. I had the domain name. I'm sorry, I already had eucarmy.com set up. But I downloaded a shopping cart. I got an SSL cert I had the cart configured, and I had the shopping cart app configured on my website, and I had items up there probably in the span of 48 hours. I'm usually that way. When I have an idea and I focus on it, it's going to happen pretty quick. That happens to me all the time. So anyways, yeah, I got that up, and I was very, very surprised about the amount of interest that I got online. I sold the few stands that I had up there relatively quick. I don't remember doing any significant advertising. I think I might have just posted something on the forums possibly, but I didn't do a lot of marketing. I was just kind of throwing it out there just to see what would happen. And again, I was talking to Matthias about this all the time, getting some suggestions from him as well. You know, he has, or he was selling some of his items already on his store. So, and one of the questions I do get, or have gotten, is these designs, or this design in particular. I've gotten some pushback, people saying, oh, you know, it's Matthias's design, you know, why are you selling it? I actually have his blessing to do so, and I actually periodically send Matthias like a little kickback just because it is his design. So yeah, I do compensate Matthias for his hard work, and just because I appreciate everything that he's done for the EUC community. I mean, his creativity and skill is really something that I admire and am jealous of. So anyways, yeah, I started off with that stand, which nowadays is known as the 2.1 stand. And then I moved on to make my own stand design. And that is the 3 series stands, which look like this. Okay. This stand, like I said, I made myself. I made the stand in Tinkercad, believe it or not. Tinkercad is a basic 3D modeling program that you just work in within a web browser. So it's very simplistic, but I was able to work within the confines of that and make something like this. Matthias works in software called Fusion 360, which I've been in as well. I've messed around in it a little bit. It's much more powerful. It's also much more involved in Tinkercad, and to be honest, I just have not had the time to focus and learn Fusion 360 like I would like to. So, but anyways, yeah, so I came up with this stand design as well. One of the other things that we messed with over time was having a no tool version of the stand, which is this, which I kind of got away from over time just because I had some issues with it breaking depending on how people were utilizing the stand. As a result, I did strengthen some of this stuff, but I have not been selling a lot of these. I haven't been making a lot of these. But now recently, within the last few months, I did start putting these back on the store. I have some demand for it, so I try to keep at least one in stock on the store at all times. This is going to be like if you want to throw a stand in the backpack, you know, for some reason, like say you're commuting to work and you just want somewhere to put your wheel when you're at work, you could use something like this. All right, so over time, the growth in the store it's just continued to accelerate. It's gotten a lot bigger than I expected it to. If you look around this room, you can kind of see what I mean. I started off with 2 printers. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in here. Now, I usually don't have all 9 going at once. Like right now, you can tell actually I don't have anything printing at all. A job just got done. But there are times where I have majority of the printers printing if there's a rush, there's high demand for some reason. So I've spent thousands of dollars on printers since the store has opened. So as far as the process itself goes, let's see if I can get you situated here. Basically, what happens is when someone places an order on my online store, which is just a plugin for a WordPress website, I get an email that they place an order, and I come back here and I keep the inventory tracked in the store, and I come back here and I pull from my inventory, my very fancy storage system I have for stands. I have some up there, I have some over there as well. I pull whatever was ordered and I process it. I have a stamps.com account that I utilize to do most of my shipping. Actually, for all my shipping, everything gets sent through the U.S. Post Office. So I pull it, pack it, ship it. I try to do it the same day if possible, but usually no later than the next day. I really try to get stuff out quickly to someone that orders it, just because I know that's how I would like things to be handled. So I don't mess around when I get an order. I try to fulfill it as quickly as possible. Let me make some progress here. Over time, I've also expanded with some other items outside of the stands. Some of you may be familiar with the KingSong mudguard / kickstands that we've had out there. That KingSong design, Matthias also helped me with that. He helped with the original modeling. I sent him a bunch of pictures, and he gave me the core that I needed to build the model. I had to modify it once he gave me that, but that he gave me basically the framework I needed to make that model. The kickstand for the KingSong 18L and 18XL, and then I went and I modified that model further to make it just a kickstand, which you can just install on the front of the KingSong 18L and 18XL. And this is the latest iteration. We had some issues where people were saying that they were having some problems with breakage in the middle, so I've actually thickened this up with the latest version that you see on the store, so to hopefully make it a little bit more resistant to breakage. Although this is not designed to be something that can be dropped or, you know, beat up. This is designed for people that are not going to be dropping their wheels on a regular basis. The most recent thing that I've come up with, and well, I shouldn't say I've come up with it, I've modified, is the front bumper slash kickstand for the M Super Series. This was based on a model that was in the public domain by Rue Williams. Mickey Miklos helped with the design of this because he took a bunch of pictures that allowed Rue to get the angles here, the concave on this side, so it fits on the front of the MSX or M Super correctly. I shortened it, I changed some of the angles here, made it more aesthetically pleasing to me, and added some holes that can be used for hard screwing the nose guard to the front of the wheel if you desire to do so. So that's out there right now. Oh, actually, I have this is what the original looked like, by the way. I do have a print of that, and this is mine. Little more just trimmed down. It's on a diet, but it should perform the same function more or less. Over the years, couple of years, I've also been selling a few other things. I printed a bunch of flexible filament power covers that I don't actually have in the store anymore. They were designed by Steven Sessler, and actually I do have some, but I did not. I don't currently have them in the store. I only have a few left, but since Steven designed these, I never charged for these. I made these free if you ordered something else. I would throw this in for free if you wanted some or you needed some. So it's another item I've had in the store. I printed hubcap covers for the Segway Mini Pro. I've printed, you know, like replacement hubcap covers or screw covers for the Mini Pro, and also replacement handles for the Mini Pro. You know, sometimes this is the handle that goes in the trolley on the Mini Pro. There was a model out there. Again, I didn't model this, so I had it on there as a free item. You know, I don't. If I didn't spend any time on the model, I don't feel comfortable taking money for it. So that has been the process I've been following. I'm thinking, but nothing happens. At this point, I've shipped stands all over the world. I've shipped to Australia. I've shipped to Japan. I've shipped to the Czech Republic. I've shipped to France. In the States, I've shipped to Hawaii, and I've shipped to Alaska. At this point, I have somewhere close to 450 orders since I've been doing this. So, and again, it's all organic. And I hear Cindy making noise out there. So yeah, it's been surprising the amount of worldwide shipping I've done. And one thing you may notice or be thinking about, you're like, well, why are you putting this together? I actually test fit all of the stands that I sell because I don't want someone to, you know, get a stand. You know, it would save me time obviously if I just threw the parts in there without ever test fitting them together. But I do that just to make sure that when you get a stand, it's actually going to fit together like you expect. It's going to, you know, do its job. These stands have been tested with wheels as heavy as the Monster, my Monster over there, which is, I think it's between 55 and 60 pounds. I've had devices as heavy as my old Segway X1, full-size Segway X1 on the stands for only a brief period of time, but that was over 100 pounds. And the stands did hold it. Some of those stands you see there are several years old, and they're still going strong. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up. I just wanted to give you a rundown of what is involved in production of these stands. One thing I did not mention was some people are surprised, and I do have this listed of approximate print times for each stand that's on the store. Some of them may or may not be 100% accurate, but they're ballpark. people are surprised with how much time is involved in making these stands. This is my my least resource intensive stand right here, the 2.1 stand, and even this requires probably in total 25 hours of print time, something like that. The 3.9 stand, especially if I make it the bigger one for the 16X and Z10s, those I could be looking at upwards of 45 hours of print time. So it is very time intensive. Obviously 3D printing consumes a decent amount of power, so there's a lot that goes into it, let's just put it that way. I wish I could just say, you know, I pop these out like nothing, but there is a lot involved in creating these. Luckily, I've been doing it long enough that I don't really seem to care, or it doesn't bother me. But it's not an easy way to earn a living. Thankfully, I don't rely on this for my primary income. All right, so like I said, that's going to wrap it up. If you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please think about subscribing, and I'm going to be talking about that in depth a little bit later. Think about subscribing. And if you're going to subscribe, you can hit the notify bell, which is over here somewhere. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts about the stands and what's involved in producing them, selling them, packing them, getting them in your hands. You can leave a comment in the section below, in the comment section below. I think that's it. I think I put the wrong size screw in here, did I? The 16X Z10 stands use longer screws. Nope, that's the right one. They use longer screws than the normal stands. One other thing, things keep coming into, popping into my old mind. I just recently added on the store page a little link that says, not sure what stand you should order for your wheel type, because that's a question I get all the time. You know, Duff, I have a MSX, I have a 14D, I have a Nikola. What stand will work for my wheel? That page actually will break it down and list the most popular wheels and what size stand has worked for others for that wheel. So if you're wondering, check there first. So that's all I have for you for now. Until next time, Duffman out.
So what you filming? What'd you film?
No, just stuff about the process of the store and the stands, all that stuff.
The process?
Yeah, like what's involved with making the stands, selling the stands. Stuff about diarrhea.
Well, that's good.
It's important. People need to know about diarrhea.
Diarrhea is what? Freaking hands. People.
Don't go anywhere. Stay at home. Play video games. Stay home and crap?
Crap?
Oh, crap. Stay home and crap. Pitting them in.
So it's a cougar test. Imagine how many diseases are being there.